What's good, everybody? How's y'all doing? Sorry, I was running late. Had to run an errand all day. Literally coming back in Charlotte. Luckily, I get to sleep in tomorrow or this morning. Yeah, thank y'all so much for waiting up on me. So Kendrick Lamar was dropping his last album on TDE. How y'all feel? Sam, Vinyl, Ronnie, what's up? Yeah, I was listening to Snoop literally all day. I'm not gonna lie, some albums I remembered, so I didn't get to re-listen to them, but I remember how they were and shit like that. I mostly really wanted to listen to the ones I don't really listen to on a regular. So yeah. And just to let y'all know, I will be putting up some new polls this weekend. Cause I know I still gotta do the Easy E reviews, which I'm gonna put that on hold because I do plan on getting the one of the Easy E EPs. I'm not gonna tell y'all which one, and until I get that one, that's when I would do the whole Easy E review. Also, got some stuff planned. Yeah, I heard about the new Cool in the Gang album, Perfect Union. I heard about that. So Q, ah, Jesus, man. Yes, Top Dog. That's literally one of my favorite Snoop albums. I'm not gonna lie. Stay tuned on that. She was just a groupie. She was just a groupie. Damn. This has been a long ass day. Oh my god. I just want to do this breakdown and watch funny shit tonight. I'm gonna watch a Netflix documentary tonight too about the Malice in the Palace and shit like that. Hmm. The No Limit top era, we're gonna definitely talk about that, but there's one album I don't like from that, and I'm gonna let y'all know. And this shit still pisses me the fuck off. Cause these motherfuckers done fucked up my release. Thank you, Vinyl. I've been saying that for a while. I've always felt Cool in the Gang was a little overrated in my opinion. Doggy Style is my favorites. Yeah, Doggy Style. We'll talk about Doggy Style. I mean, I'm not the biggest Cool in the Gang fan, but like the first Incarceration, like when they were jazzy, that's the Cool in the Gang I like per se. Hmm. La 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 la. Same, Ronnie. 69 to, well, I would even stretch it to maybe 79, 80-ish and stuff like that. Cause I do like certain songs from the JT era, just not everything from the JT era. Dogfather's my favorite Snoop album. Yeah, Run the Million's doing his thing on streaming. Like I said before, I'm cool with the stuff being on streaming. Don't get me wrong, but to be real with you, I've been having their albums for years and stuff like that. So it's just like, yeah. Okay, Try is on his way. Again, I do apologize for running a little late. What's up, Rayshawn? What's up, Christian? So I tell y'all are Snoop fans and shit. It did not even rain one bit when I was on my way back. Ain't that a bitch? But I low-key can't wait for the Shaquille O'Neal breakdown. That's the one I can't wait for. I thought Westside had to take his album back because of he wanted to do some more work on it and stuff like that. Yeah. Ooh. Westside. How you doing?
Chilling.
Shit, I've been listening to Snoop like all day. Shit. He has like 40 albums and shit.
Right. I'm just now finishing one of his albums.
Mm. Like Kendrick is leaving Top Dog Entertainment and shit.
Crazy. Is he retiring for good, or he just leaving TDE?
They say he's leaving TDE.
Oh, so he's going independent or what?
I guess so.
Wow, that's a big loss for them.
Right.
It's
And
time. It's time
TDE,
for Ab Soul to step his game up. I ain't hear a great album from Ab Soul in years.
yeah, where's Absol at?
I don't know. He got to step his game up now.
Yeah, because I wasn't really feeling Schoolboy Q's and Jay Rock's recent albums and shit.
I don't know.
I didn't even hear Isaiah Rashad's album yet.
I didn't hear it. Dogfather. Everybody talking about this Dogfather album like it's some great album.
Right. We'll talk about that.
Holy shit. Y'all don't care about his other albums? Is this the Dogfather? I don't get it.
That's the greatest rap album ever now.
Oh Lord.
I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
What's up, you too? How's everyone doing this lovely Saturday morning? It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
What up?
And we are going to talk about the discography of West Coast hip hop legend Snoop Doggy Dogg,
What
Snoop
song?
Dogg,
What song?
Snoop Lion, all that Snoop, all the whatever you want to call them. Snoop Dogg's, Rodney, all that shit. Um, so let me ask you how you got into Snoop Dogg. Wait. We actually didn't we ask this when we did the game, right? But we can always say it again, no problem.
The game is to be sold. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, like just shit when Deep Cover came out, and just seeing that video on Young TV Raps, and that was a hit, big hit for Dre, and um, when Nothing But a G thing came out, that was it, man. Like that really skyrocketed him, and he really made that song what it was, and buying the Chronic, and just hearing them all over that album, Little Ghetto Boy, and Dre Day, and Stranded on Death Row is classic album, you know what I'm saying? And then, we were all anxious for his album, and one of the most anticipated rap albums ever, in my opinion, and he lived up to the hype. And I remember buying the Rolling Stone issue with Dre and Snoop on the cover in '93, and they were talking about making the Doggy Style album, and you know What's My Name that came out, and yo, it was we was ready. We was ready over here in New York, and we was bumping that album when that dropped, and I bought it on cassette, and then I had a homeboy. I had a homeboy of mine that he had the CD, and he had gave me the CD, but the CD, the version he gave me didn't have the G's Up Hoes Down. It was like the other version, and my cassette, the OG cassette, had the G's Up Hoes Down. So I ended up giving that CD to like one of my cousins when he was visiting, like '98, and I ended up getting the OG copy like years later or whatever. But yo, that album lived up to the hype. Like everything that we heard about, Dre doing all the production. He had like the Parliament, samples and everything, the dope features from Lady of Rage and Dope Pound. It lived up to the hype, and classic album, and that was like one of my favorites. Like I was bumping that album every day, non-stop, every track, you know what I'm saying, and you know yeah, like he's lived up to the hype. He's a West Coast legend. He's done so many different things, hitting different genres. We always he always reintroduced himself, his image. He never stayed in just one sound, and collaborating with everybody from the East, the West, the South. All genres, R&B, rock, everything, and he's been great. Like it's amazing to see how far he's come from '93 to now, and having movies, having hit shows, and clothing lines, everything. Like he's done it all. You know what I'm saying? That's a definition of a legend. You know what I'm saying? And he should be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not just the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I love him. Great artist. Great. I was lucky to see him in concert 2 years ago. Came all the way from California to shut shit down in Brooklyn and New York City, and he had the best set on that show. He bought out strippers. He had the weed, he had the liquor, he had everything. It was everything you would, if you never seen a Snoop Dogg concert, it was everything you could think of that he had, and he just went through his whole discography. Like he still didn't play everything, but he played most of his shit. You know what I'm saying? On a show that had 50 Cent, that had Dipset, that had the Locks was on there.
Dipset and the Lox.
Yes, they were on the same show. Yes, I got the video footage. You know what I'm saying? Das Effects was there. I know these Das Effects was there. MOP, everybody. It was a star-studded night, and Snoop had the best set. And I remember there was a guy next to me with his girlfriend, and they were both high, and like he whispered to me in my ear, like he was like, yo, like he think that Snoop Dogg was a bigger legend than Jay-Z.
Ooh,
I don't know how people feel about that. You know, you saying that in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? So, I know a lot of people would disagree with him, but he's a legend just like Jay. Like he's done everything. You know what I'm saying? So, um, he killed it. Like he was great. He's always been for the fans and all that, and you know what I mean. Like we after this, nobody should be asking us anything else about a Snoop Dogg album. What we think about a Snoop Dogg album. This is it. This is it right here. This is gonna be everything that you always wanted to hear from us about any Snoop Dogg project. The good, the bad, the mediocre, whatever it is that he done. This is it. So after this, nobody should be asking us about what we think about, Dog Father, what we think about, Last Meal, and we giving it to you tonight, everything.
raw and uncut.
Yes, everything. And he got classics, he got shit, and we just gonna talk about everything.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's good. Salute.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a dope story and shit. I just pretty much got into Snoop just listen to his discography, like Dogfather, Doggy Style, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And just coming to respect him as an icon and a hip hop legend. Even though we might say, oh, he hasn't dropped shit in the years.
Mhm.
People might give him the Illmatic treatment sometimes and shit like that. But he'll always be a legend to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And without further ado, I know we have like hella albums, so I'm gonna get by these
Do we?
orderly as possible and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Um, Doggy Style. We shouldn't even spend too much time on this one, low key.
Classic.
Classic.
Classic album. Every track on here, classic from the G Funk intro to the last track. Every track on here is classic. Ain't No Fun with Nate Dogg, killed it. G's Up, Hoes Down. G's and Hustlers. Serial Killer, every track. The Shiznit, one of my favorites. I think he killed that. One of his best lyrical tracks. You know, everything to me is a classic, 5 mic classic, top 5 all time, top 3 if you want to put it number 1 all time. Is definitely a classic with any other classic. I don't care if it's Enter the Wu Tang or Cuban Link or AT Aliens, whatever classic that's out there that you love is right in that sentence. As far as I'm concerned, definitely a 5 mic classic. I love it. One of my favorite Snoop albums ever. Because I feel like he does have other classic albums, but that whole notion of him just having one classic album, I don't think that's true. I think if anything, the casual rap fan would say, "Oh well, yeah, they know Doggy Style, but what about his other albums?" You know what I'm saying? And that's I think that's why it's important that we have the discussion about all of his work, so that people can go back if they missed the album, like yo, like I need to go check this album out because I slept on it when it came out. So yeah, Doggy Style is a great album.
Yeah, man. Like I said, very good album. Again, it's my favorite Snoop album. This is the one I listen to the most. This is probably the one I listen to monthly, if anything, and shit like that. Timeless album. I mean, Murder Was the Case. Doggy Dog World. Probably my favorite single off this whole album, Doggy Dog World.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely loved how Daz had that verse and shit like that. I feel like Daz had the best verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know everyone loves Corruption, but I love Daz's verse a little bit more. I love the fact that he brought in the dramatics, his love for soul music, which
Yes. Murder Was the
surprisingly will be
Case.
more in display in the next album and shit like that.
Murder Was the Case.
Murder Was the Case, yes.
Classic album.
Classic soundtrack too,
Yes.
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 Um, what else? What else? I want to talk about a song that no one really talks about. You know what I'm saying? Like G's Up, Hoes Down.
Fire.
If you guys get the original version of Doggy Style,
Mm-hmm.
that's only on that one and like the
Yes.
next episode.
The original joint.
The original next episode, not the Chronic 2001 joint.
Yes.
What else? What else? Ain't No Fun If the Homies
Ain't No
Can't Have
Fun.
None.
Fire.
I mean, fire track. Nate, rest in peace to the Nate Dogg. The Lottie Dottie with the Slick Rick cover.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop's first cover, if you ask me.
Yep.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always loved how Snoop always paid homage to, like, the golden age of hip hop with his earlier albums and shit too. So
Right.
that's something that no one talks about with Snoop and
Mm-hmm.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like everyone's so quick to talk about when Death Squad did Rappers Delight and shit like that too. Which that was, like I said, even though I didn't like Care for El Nino, that was decent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, five mics.
Yes.
And then it's Trouble with the Dog Father.
Oh.
Okay. I've always wanted to re-review this album
Mm-hmm.
because I reviewed this album back in 2014. This is like one of my early reviews.
Right.
And it's like, in my opinion, I've always tried to like this album as much as Doggy Style, and I never will like this album.
Right.
Dr. Dre left Death Row like around June of 1996. He took all the beats that he was working for with Snoop's second album with them and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I don't know if Suge kept them or took them with him. I don't know. But Pac had died. Suge was in jail or prison or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and Snoop was just the one that was holding Death Row together. Well, attempting to hold Death Row together. And most of this album was produced by DJ Pooh. And I like DJ Pooh, West Coast legend. I liked him from the LA Posse, working with Q. But I'm not going to lie, and this might be controversial.
Right.
These are some of his worst beats, in my opinion. I'm being perfectly honest with y'all. I felt like a lot of the DJ Pooh productions
Oh.
kind of threw the album off to me. Like, I didn't care for Up Jump. The singles minus Vapors, like Snoop's Upside Your Head and Dogfather, I did not care for.
Mm-hmm.
I especially Up Jump the Boogie. Oh my god! And it's interesting too because this was the first album he was working with Charlie Wilson,
Right.
and he was also working with Tina Marie too. And ironically, Corrupt and Tina Marie would work together in one of Tina Marie's latter albums and shit. So that's interesting as hell.
Right.
Um, a lot of songs I didn't. I'm gonna start with the song I didn't care for, like
Okay.
fucking Groupie. I like Charlie Wilson's chorus, but to me, it was a poor man's version of "Ain't No Fun."
Mm-hmm.
Um, Doggyland,
You didn't like it.
Tear 'Em Off Me and My Dogs. I didn't care for,
Oh.
but when it comes to the good, and I do mean there was a lot of good, like Freestyle Conversation, one of Snoop's lyrical tracks,
Right.
6 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
2001. Vapors. Again, the Bismarcky stamp. Rest in peace to Bismarcky cover.
Yeah.
Hell, I even like Blueberry. And it's
That's
interesting
why.
too because there was this joint called Midnight Love. That was supposed to have been on this album.
That's on the greatest hits, the first greatest hits,
Yes.
the Capitol Records one. Because I know
Yes.
he has another greatest hits version. This is the OG greatest hits.
Yeah.
You gotta get this one.
And he also dropped an EP based off this album too,
Yeah.
where it had Midnight Love. If that was on this album,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god.
Yeah.
It would have probably done a little bit more impact and shit. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I noticed a lot of fans. They was talk a lot of shit about every Snoop album post Doggy Style,
Mm-hmm.
but since this is the last album on Death Row, they will try to give this a slide, talking about they love Death Row Snoop, but when you ask them what's their favorite songs, they can't even answer that shit.
Right. Right.
Personally, like I said, if I do a re-review, it'll probably be far down the line, but
Mm-hmm.
this album to me was a 3 mic album.
It's a solid album. Um, Dr. Dre was severely missing from it though, production
Yes,
wise.
yes,
But I do feel like DJ Pooh and Daz and Superfly and LT Hutton, I think they did their thing on this album. It's 21 tracks. There's some tracks to me that are better than others. My favorites would be like like Groupie, the Dogfather track. Um, You know, Gold Rush was banging with the Corrupt and LBC crew. 6 minutes, I like that. Snoop's Upside Your Head, that was the first single. Doggy Land, I even like that. I think there was some bangers. I don't feel like it's a classic like a lot of people feel like that. You know, over the years, I don't feel like it is a classic. I feel like it is a solid album though. You know what I'm saying? But I think because of the success of his first album and him living up to the hype of that album, there was added pressure for the second one, especially being that Pac had just passed away. Dre had left or whatever, and he had expectations with this album, and it didn't deliver um, um, commercially. But I do feel like it's a dope album. I'll give it a solid 4. But it's not whack. But it's not a classic to me. It's not like Doggy Style, but it's solid.
Yes, it's a solid album. Like, it grew on me from the first time I heard it and shit like that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not just gonna automatically say, "Oh, it's a good album" just because it was released in the quote unquote prime of his career and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's plenty of artists that released shit in the prime of the quote unquote prime of their career. I saw that talk shit like Jay-Z's Volume 3 for Perfect Reasons.
Yes. Yes.
I know a lot of fans, they like the album. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
argue.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's not one of his strongest. And that was released when he was dropping Volume 2,
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable Doubt,
Yep.
Dynasty, all that shit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So yeah, Pac was supposed to be on this album too, so yeah.
Right.
So he left Death Row Records, due to money, royalties, trying to feel safe. And so he ended up signing to No Limit Records, where he dropped 3 albums. And it's interesting because it's like he started off with the worst album, but then
Right.
he ended off with what some might call his best album, which let's just talk about this. So we're gonna get to the No Limit era. The game is to be sold, not to be told.
Yes.
I am not a fan of this album.
Oh wow.
We did a review on this album, and I was pretty brutal on this
Mm-hmm.
album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful I got a copy of it. I want to say Hoovy was the one who gave me a copy. I'm gonna say shout out to Hoovy, by the way. I know in recent years this album sort of has like a cult following, but
Right.
to me, and I'm gonna be perfect on it, they didn't. I feel like the No Limit didn't exactly know how to do it with this album and stuff like that. I mean, there was some joints I did like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked Slow Down, Snoop World. I
Oh
like
yeah.
that shit. Still a G thing, that was cool. DOG's Get Lonely too with John B, but there was just a lot of trash, man. Like it's just like with the No Limit sound too.
Mm-hmm.
The No Limit sound at the same time. I love Beats by the Pound, but at the same time, it was just like a lot of these beats you can tell were meant for other artists and shit. I have my personal opinion and shit. Like I don't know what it was, just me, but it was just for other artists and stuff like that too. I felt like in the latter albums, they got better with like his production and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, you had no Dre, you had no D.P.G. and shit like that too. And it was just, again, to be understood, but it was just like a lot to get used to and shit. But like I said, this album, not a big fan of this album. I'm gonna give it like a 2 mic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I would rather listen to Dogfather over this, but yeah.
I think this album was solid. Um, and I wasn't a No Limit fan, so I remember buying that Source magazine when he was on the cover and they were talking about him going like leaving Death Row and going to No Limit and I was surprised. I couldn't really see him on No Limit at that time and it worked out. And I always said I think the after Doggy Style I think he made his best albums on No Limit, and I love all 3 of them. I think this was a solid album. With the production from KLC and you had Master P and Pooh was on the album and Meech Wells did some stuff and I love the collaborations he did with Mystical. and Silk the Shocker. Ain't nothing personal. C Murder's on the album. Got Eddie Griffin, the comedian, on here.
Yes.
Um, the Gin and Juice too. I enjoyed that. I like the Roof song. I didn't care for the video, but I thought the video was not good. But the song itself was dope. Slow Down with Mia X is one of my favorites on here on this album. Um, Still a G Thing, that was the first single, a banging track. I loved it. I think it's definitely a solid album. Definitely a solid four for me.
Okay. All right. 1 year later, she dropped No Limit Top Dog. Now, this one was one that grew on me. Again, I mean, I've always loved this album way
Mm-hmm.
more than the previous two.
Yeah.
And probably at this point was probably his best next to Doggy Style at that point. You had Dr. Dre coming back. You had a lot more for West Coast lean to compared to like the game is to be sold, which I love. I felt like damn, I just realized there's really not that much no limit production on this album. It's just mostly West Coast shit. Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow, okay.
Right.
But I think around that time Beats by the Pound were beefing with Master P too around that time. So yeah, so we have songs like Buck 'em with Sticky Fingers
Fire.
and shit, Fire Track,
Mm-hmm.
Down for My Niggas with C Murder
Mm-hmm.
and Magic. Ooh, like down, 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 down,
Crazy.
down, 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 down. I love every time that shit comes on at the party, we just go crazy and shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, better something about your business featuring Raphael Sadiq, very dope
Fire.
track.
Yep.
The G Bedtime Stories, Ghetto Symphony, the
Fire.
dope ass posse. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Enjoyed that one.
Yeah, this one was a very good album. Some of Dre's most slept on beats are on this album, if you ask me, and stuff like that. Yeah, man, definitely very dope. I'll give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Definitely, again, another solid No Limit album to me. And he didn't, he switched up this one. He didn't have the pen and pixel cover like the other No Limit releases. He had his own image for the album, and his own, and we used Dr. Dre on this album, which was a lot. It was needed. And at that time, because when the first No Limit album came out, like we was wondering like, yo, is him and Dre beefing? Are they talking? Because he didn't have Dre had left and was did the aftermath thing, and we was wondering, but he got Dre back and it was fire. Buckham with Sticky Fingers, that was a dope track. What else? Down for My Niggas, like you mentioned, they still play that. They still play that joint even to this
For
day.
real.
A dope track with C Murder and Magic. Something About Your Business with Raphael Sadiq, another banger. Bitch Please, everybody knows that track. With Exhibit and Nate Dogg, that was like the biggest hit off of this album. Ghetto Symphony, I think Mia X and C Murder had the best verses on that. That was like their No Limit rendition of the Marley Marl classic, The Symphony. Love that track. Um, Bussin' Rocks, Just Dipping with Dre and Jewel. Fire, Don't Tell with Warren G, Mossberg, and Nate Dogg. Another fire track. 20 Minutes with Goldie Loke. I think Goldie Loke killed that. Definitely a solid album. Five Mics, in my opinion. I think it's one of his best albums ever, and I love it. I need to get Top Dog. I don't got this one, but yeah, this was a classic album to me.
Yeah, very dope album and shit like that.
Legion, salute.
Who?
It's
Oh,
my
what's up,
nigga
Legion?
Legion. Gmo.
Alright, so around this time, him and Suge Knight were not, well, they weren't seen eye to eye, and he pretty much was still owed royalty that he was still under contract with Suge Knight.
Right.
So, which explains why he dropped like the Dead Man Walking compilation, which I'm not gonna talk about Dead Man Walking because
Mhm.
it's pretty much like Suge Knight just trying to make money off Snoop Dogg and shit like that too.
Right.
And a lot of those songs, I'm not gonna lie, is a reason why they were unreleased.
Mhm.
Just to be real.
Mhm.
So the last meal was pretty much like the last album, with contract with Suge Knight. That's why he
Mhm.
called it like the last meal.
Yep.
And that came out in 2000. And let me say this is probably my second favorite Snoop album. This album to me was amazing. To this day, it's an album that I still bump to from Snoop next to
Mm-hmm.
Doggy Style.
Same.
Um, love songs like Hennessy and Buddha with Cocaine, which is crazy because Cocaine was a ruthless artist and stuff like that too. And this was around the time they started working with one another.
Man.
Stacey Adams, again, probably my favorite track off this album. You know,
Stacey Adams.
What's My Name Part Two with Timbaland, dope.
Mm-hmm.
True Lies was dope too. Bring It On. This whole fucking album again, definitely. And this was the last album on No Limit Records, so
Right.
definitely nice way to end off. I will give this album 4.5 out of 5.
Definitely another solid album. Hennessy and Buddha, like you said, with Cocaine, great song produced by Dr. Dre. The Snoop Dogg, What's My Name Part Two, produced by Timbaland. That was the first single, dope track. Um, of course, Laylo. Laylo was like one of my favorites on here. That posse joint with Butch Cassidy and Nate Dogg and the East Siders. Master P was on that joint, killed it. Stacey Adams with Cocaine, another banger. The joint with what's that joint? The joint with Eve, Ready to Ride. I like that one. Brake Fluid, Bitch Pump Your Brakes with Cocaine, produced by Scott Storch, another banger. Like this whole album to me was solid. Definitely five mics in my opinion. I still play this is one of his best. Like I said, like his three albums on No Limit to me are his best stuff after Doggy Style. Yeah, it's I don't see nothing bad about this album. Like everything was on point. The production by Dre and Jelly Roll, Battle Cat, Scott Storch, Timbaland, like everything on here was fire.
Yeah, definitely a fire album. All right. Now we're gonna get into 2002 with "Paid the Cost to Be the Boss." This is when he signed to Priority. He had his own label, Doggy Style, under Priority and Capital. This is an album. It's a very good album, in my
Yes.
opinion. A
Mhm.
very underrated album in his discography.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of controversy with this album too. Especially with, like I mentioned, with Suge Knight. Um, so the song "Pimp Slap" was like a diss track against Suge Knight, and so there was a skit in the beginning with like Snoop with the phone conversation, and the dude that actually did the phone conversation actually sued Snoop Dogg and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Saying that his life was endangered, and because he said the phone message he said was taken without permission
Mhm.
and stuff like that too. And this is around the time everybody was scared of Suge Knight
Right.
and stuff like that too. And so pretty much, and mind you, the album came out in 2002, and then he sued him in 2003.
Mhm.
But then the judge pretty much dismissed the lawsuit and stuff like that too. So yeah, that's crazy as hell. But yeah, back to this albums and stuff. I love songs like "Lollipop" with Jay Z, Nate Dogg, and Superfly. Produced by
Fire.
Just Blaze.
Fire.
Ballin', I love that track.
That I think Lollipop was on a video game soundtrack. I want to say it was maybe NBA Live 02.
Oh wow.
It was. I remember it was on a video game. I forgot the video game. It might have been Need for Speed Underground or something, but I know it was on a video game.
Oh, that's nuts. That's
Yeah.
dope. Yeah, man. Primo, he dropped two of his best cuts. The one and only in Batman and Robin
Fire.
with Lady of Rage and RBX. I mean, so many dope songs off this album. I Believe
Yeah.
in You.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that beat by High Tech.
You
I'm
didn't
not
like that beat?
I
Wow.
don't like that
I
beat.
love that joint.
Yeah, this was
Hmm.
again, in my opinion, maybe my fourth favorite album from Snoop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is the four mic album.
I definitely think this album is underrated. It was a solid album, and he had switched labels at this time. He went to Capitol Records. I was promoting for this album. Like I said, like they never sent me the album. They sent me the Beautiful single, but You know, that's like the biggest. That's the biggest hit on this album. That was a big. That was like a different type of Snoop. Like we never heard like a love song like that from him. So I think that's why it blew up so much because like, it was like a love song and it was a dope love song. You had the Neptunes who were like the hottest production duo at on the charts at that time, and people remember the video in Brazil and Rio, and it was a beautiful video, and that's like during the time we had like the throwbacks, the throwback era. Just a dope song, and I believe in you. I like that joint from High Tech. I thought the beat was dope. Lollipop with Jay Z, Just Blaze produced that fire joint. I didn't really care for Jay's verse. I thought it was like a throwaway verse from him, but it was just dope to hear Jay and Snoop Dogg collaborate. To have Jay Z on the Snoop Dogg album, that was dope to hear. Um, Ballin' with the Dramatics and Little Half Dead. Love that joint. That's fire. Um, what else? Long Beach to Brick City with Redman. That was a fire joint. One of my favorites. I thought Redman killed that joint, and this is like malpractice Redman. So I want people to remember that when you shit on malpractice, he still had his bars during that time. So definitely a banger. The two primo joints, the one and only, and Batman and Robin with Rage and RBX, and you got Snoop playing Batman and Rage is playing Robin, and how real name is Robin. So I like that it actually fit that whole concept of playing the dynamic duo, and Primo sampled the Batman '66 TV theme song, fire track. Love that. They should have had a video for that. But yeah, Pimp Slap, the Suge Knight diss. I remember when that came out, and that was like everywhere. They were talking about that whole diss song. He kept calling Suge Knight Simon on the song, and I thought and accusing Suge Knight of being jealous of him and everything. And I do believe that. I do feel like Suge was low key jealous of him. You know what I'm saying? And he ruined a good thing. He ruined our legendary label with his jealousy. And yeah, that was a great song to end the album. To me, it's 4.5. I definitely give it 4.5 mics. Solid production. Battle Cat. Primo, Rick Rock, Neptunes. Solid album. So I give it for 4.5 mics.
Definitely a very dope album. All right. Now I'm gonna get into 2004's Rhythm and Gangster, the masterpiece. Definitely another good album. One that I kind of feel like gets slept on a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more popular or a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more upbeat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You have songs like "Drop It Like It's Hot." Everyone knows that song.
Mm-hmm.
"Ups and Downs" with the B.G.s. "Let's Get Blown."
Right.
I didn't like Signs. I'm gonna be real with y'all and shit like that. Perfect was cool. That should have been a single.
Mm-hmm.
Step Your Game Up. I could have get you done without that track too.
Right.
But yeah, this was again another solid album. I do have this one in my collection too.
I need this one too.
I'm gonna probably give this 3.5 out of 5. It was pretty good.
This to me was a dope album. Another underrated album from him, and I thought it was dope. The singles, he picked the right singles. Drop It Like It's Hot, one of his biggest hits ever. Love that joint with him and Pharrell. Let's Get Blown, another Pharrell joint that was fire. Um, Oh No with 50 Cent, and this is like when 50 like first coming out with Get Rich or Die Trying, and where 50 was killing his features at that time, and that was dope to hear him and Snoop on a track together. Sean Money XL produced that. That was fire. Signs, I actually like Signs because I like Justin Timberlake solo, his solo stuff, and I thought that was dope with him and Charlie Wilson, another Neptune's joint. The one song that I like with Nelly, "Girl Like You," I actually like that song with Nelly because I think that was a dope song. I didn't mind Nelly being on it. I think that he actually sounded good with Snoop on this joint, and I like the beat, and I like that song with Nelly. That was a dope song. So for me, I'm giving it a 3.3.5 mics. I think it's a solid album, underrated in his discography, and yeah, this is dope.
Yeah, definitely another dope album. And now we're gonna get into Blue Carpet Treatment, released in 2006. I know a lot of fans love this album. They say it's probably his second best album. I like it, but I'm not one to love it. I do feel like it does have a little bit of filler I could have done without. Um, this is really when I was getting into Snoop Dogg,
Mm-hmm.
like that shit with R. Kelly. Love that fucking
Love that
joint,
song.
sampling the Coming to America bathtub scene.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Crazy with Nate Dogg. That should have been another single and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They have Boss's Life, but it's crazy too because they have two versions of Boss's Life. They have one with Akon, that's the original version.
Right.
But when the single came out, I think it was replaced the label issue. I think I know why it was they replaced Akon
Mm-hmm.
was because around that time Akon was kind of getting into some controversy. I think around that time with the whole club incident with the
Right.
girl. I don't know if it was like with the whole club incident where he picked up some 15-year-old girl on stage and
I
shit.
remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
That was on TMZ.
yeah, it was on TMZ, and
Mm-hmm.
so I guess Nate Dogg was brought into the single and stuff like that. Which I'm not gonna lie, that was always my favorite version of the song. I've always preferred the Nate Dogg version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Akon version to me worked well when the Akon collaborated when he did that song "I Want to Fuck You" from
Mm-hmm.
the Convicted album and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, which radio airplay called "I Want to Love You" and stuff. Which ironically that's on this album too. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. Imagine with Dr. Dre and D'Angelo.
Whew.
Oh God,
Crazy, crazy joint.
a very good joint. One of my favorite Dre and Snoop collaborations, and of course
Mm-hmm.
they had Jesus there too. Um, Ironically, Stevie Wonder is on a song called "Conversations" at the end. Another
Mm-hmm.
good song. Um, I didn't care for Candy. I'm gonna be real with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cool hearing E40 and A, all them niggas together, but to me, it wasn't really all that to me and shit
They,
like that.
I remember when that song came out, there was a rumor that he was doing a super group with them.
Yeah, there was rumor with that too,
Yeah,
but
and he actually did. He has the super group with E40s in a part of that, right?
with E40, Too
Mm.
Short, and Ice Cube.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, that album was supposed to have came
I
out.
don't know what's taking so long for it.
Oh, jeez, I forgot about. That's gonna be with Donda and shit, man. Ugh. All right,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and then like I said, a lot of fans they kind of like praise this album a lot. Which again, I like the album, but to me, I feel like there was some better albums and shit. So I'm gonna give this like a full mic.
What wasn't there a controversy too with Vato, the Vato song?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so pretty much with that track, the controversy with that, I think was because like the Chicano culture, they didn't like the fact that they were using like the bottle slang on the
Mm.
track, and they took that as like a slur
Right,
or whatever stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Chicano rappers were throwing shots at Snoop and stuff too.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a controversy with that.
You know who else is on the remix for Imagine has Ja Rule on it.
Why would you ruin the song? Let me
That,
stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
there's a remix for Imagine with it's D'Angelo, Dre, and Ja Rule. I never heard the remix, but I'm looking at the bonus tracks that didn't make the album. So there's a remix for that. There's a remix for That's That with Nas and R. Kelly. I didn't never heard the remix for that either.
That
Nas
remix
is
was
on.
hot. That
Oh,
remix was
it
hot.
was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some bonus tracks from here that wasn't on here, but I love this album. This is one of those albums that I actually ran out and got, and I wasn't disappointed. You know, I remember when Vato came out, that was dope. I've always loved Be Real. That's that shit. Love that song. My mom loves that song. Like everybody loves that song. That's a dope ass
Uh,
song with R. Kelly. I like this. I like this. Well, I liked most of his stuff he did with R. Kelly. Like even the joint he did on Double Up. I like that joint he did with Kells. I love this joint. You know, Knox did the beat. Very underrated producer. Candy was dope. I remember the video for that. Boss Life. I don't mind. I love both versions. The Akon joint was dope, and I wasn't a big fan of Akon, but I thought he was dope on here. The Nate Dogg version is dope too. LAX with Cube. Um, I Wanna Love You. I remember that was a big hit. You know, that was another dope joint with Akon. Imagine, like you said, with Dre and D'Angelo. Conversations with Stevie Wonder, the last track. Definitely a solid album. Definitely giving it a 4.5. One of his best albums ever, in my opinion.
And it's downhill from here. Ego tripping. Okay, where do I start with this? I don't know what the hell he was trying to do with this album. I'm gonna keep it above with you.
Yeah.
Sensual, sexual eruption. Excuse me. Well, originally, let me stop. He originally was gonna have this album with no guests. Originally,
What happened?
that's what I'm saying. But then ended up you have like, I mean, the guest is probably one of the most weird. Like you have Charlie Wilson. Okay, I understand that.
Uh-huh.
You know,
That's
you
a
have,
given.
huh?
That's a given. That you gotta
Yeah,
have Charlie. You know.
right. You have Corrupt. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Jamie Foxx. Okay.
No.
But this one, Willie Nelson,
No.
and he said in the interview he loved country music.
Yeah.
And I have really nothing against. I'm not a big country. I have nothing against Willie Nelson like that. But I'm just that song, My Medicine. Oh my!
Nah.
I rather listen to the Nelly and Tim McGraw song. But yeah, but back to sexual eruption. It's kind of crazy too because that was a controversial song when it came out because Snoop was using the auto tone,
Uh-huh.
and there was a interview with T-Pain I was watching yesterday and shit like that, where T-Pain was pretty much talking about how when he did that record, it was pretty much gave the gateway for everybody to use auto-tone and shit. Because later on, Puffy did that with the whole Dirty Money shit.
Right. Right.
Um,
That's a better album than this though.
you said what?
Dirty Money is a better album than this.
I don't think I'll go that far, but okay. But yeah, but that I'm not gonna lie, Sexual Eruption, one of my favorite Snoop songs, period.
Right.
And then there's a remix with Lil Kim, which that again was dope.
Wow, they hear that.
Yeah, Snoop and Lil Kim. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, but to me, that's like my favorite track off this album. But at the same time, there was some good tracks.
There was?
Like Been Around the World. That was solid.
Wow.
Life of the Party was short and Mr. Fab. Decent. I'm really trying to be nice.
Don't be nice. You have to tell your truth.
I am. I am going to tell my truth. That's why I'm trying to find at least a few good tracks because with an album this long, there has to be at least a couple of tracks I can bump. But other than that, it was just Teddy Riley. Oh, them were doing the time cool. Oh my!
That's a slap in the face at the time.
I prefer the somebody else did a version of that track. No, that was TLC with Get On Up. It was Get It Up. Excuse me, my fault. Cool. But yeah, this was not a good album. And it's interesting too because Snoop actually threw shots at Prince.
What?
Because Prince didn't let him sample his music one time.
Wow.
But when Prince died, Snoop was all like, "Oh, Prince was a legend and all that." But he actually threw shots at Prince one time. There was a YouTube video with it too.
Prince knew if he was gonna sample his music for this terrible album, oh man, I would have been pissed off.
No, it was actually back in I think the Death Row days, I believe.
Oh wow.
Prince let Tupac sample 50.
Man, that's crazy. What you giving it?
Oh damn! I have to give it a rating. All right. Oh, damn. Fuck it. I'm gonna give it 2 mics because I feel like Sexual Eruption.
Mm.
That alone is a star. That alone. Mm,
Let me tell you, I went to FYE the very same day, and there's certain albums that I bought the same day they dropped. You know, from the '90s. You know, I went to get Ready to Die the same day that came out. P Rock and Seal Smooth, the main ingredient. What else? Justin Timberlake, the second album, the Future Sex Love Sounds or whatever. Man, there's certain albums that I went to get the day that they came out. I went to pick this up the day it came out from FYE. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to FYE on a regular. The
yes.
people that worked there knew me. They were always asking me, "Oh, how you doing, sir? What? You know, how's your day going? You know,
Yep.
is there anything that we can do for you?" And I went that day to pick this album up. You know, I had just got a new home theater system. You know, one of them systems where it plays like CDs and DVDs, and you can connect it to like different components, your game systems and your flat screen and all that. So I was hype. You know, I bought the album. I come home, I put the album in. The first song I played was "Sexual Eruption," and that's banging. Like it sounded great in the speakers, in the system, everything. That was banging. Not one of my favorite Snoop Dogg songs ever, but it's a banging song. You know, for that time when we were in the auto tune era or whatever. But then when you get to the rest of the album, like cool, like that is a straight rip off of any time song from their first or second album. Okay, and Teddy Riley did that, and I don't know what happened to Teddy Riley. He just fell the fuck off production wise. Okay, he hasn't made a hit in forever. I didn't like that song from him. It don't even sound like a Teddy Riley produced song. Don't like that. None of these songs, except for "Life of the Party." I remember that video with Too Short. That was okay. "Stacked in My Jeans" was dope. I actually like that song. And "Those Girls." Everything else was trash. I do not like this album. I'm sorry I bought it. The old Triborough from the '90s would have threw this album away, but I stopped doing that. I said it's Snoop Dogg. It's trash. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna just put it in the collection, and it's just gonna sit there and collect dust. And I still don't play it. I have not played this album in years since it came out, but I kept it just to show y'all because we probably won't ever do a review on this album. But this is the one time you see it. It's not good. I'll give it a 1. It's a trashy album. One of his worst albums in his discography. I don't see nothing good about it. Well, he had that big one-hit song, and ironically, like that's the only song they promoted really was "Sexual." I think he got a Grammy nomination for that song.
Hmm.
That's it. Not a
Yo,
great
the
album.
video was amazing.
Yeah, the video was cool, but I mean, I always liked a lot of his videos, not all of them, but most of his videos I liked. But this is a trashy album. It's a 1 for me.
Yeah, not a good album.
Yeah.
You know what? These albums, I'm just really gonna skim through them. Some of these albums, the 20 teens was really not a very. Well, actually,
Hmm.
no, this is '09. So
Like his next, I want to say his next 4, all bad to me.
oh yeah, okay. Malice in Wonderland,
Hmm.
not a good album.
Yeah.
Um, released on my sister's birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, gangster,
What
gangster,
what a birthday present.
Yo, the only song I really care for was "Pimpin' Ain't Easy."
Hmm.
I don't even like the Nipsey Hussle song, "The Upside Down." I mean,
That was bad.
the beat was bad,
Yeah, that was terrible.
and yeah, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. But still, oh
Nipsey,
my,
you got Nipsey rolling in his grave from that terrible song.
mind you, this was when Nipsey was coming out and shit like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
Pronto was trash.
yeah,
Um, I Wanna Rock. The remix with Jay Z was dope. I can say
yeah.
that,
That
but
was dope. That was dope.
this was a 1 star.
I want to rock with it. They played that a lot of like NBA games. Again, this is like ego tripping. It was another big like one hit single from a bad album, and he had features. Little John, the 1800 I like. Jasmine Sullivan is on here with different languages. Upside Down did not like. Secrets was okay with Cocaine. I like the beat for that. That was done by Battle Cat. My favorite joint to me was Special with Brandy and Pharrell, and that's like like track 13 is like way down on the album. Pimpin' Ain't Easy with R. Kelly, again another dope R. Kelly collab, but the rest of the album was terrible. Don't like it. I give it a 2. It's not one of my favorites at all.
Yeah, documentary was not good at all. Originally, I remember when he was promoting this album. It was supposed to be the sequel to Doggy Style.
This was supposed to be the sequel to Doggy Style.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Yeah,
he
he was
scrapped
high.
it.
He was high.
He scrapped it, and he pretty much did this whole fucking album. There was some okay tracks. Like I liked Wet, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
I liked My Own Way. I Don't Need No Bitch, but this album was not memorable. 1 star.
I think it was mediocre. There's some joints I like. There's some joints I don't care for on here. Um, One of my favorites is The Way Life Used to Be, produced by Battle Cat. That's banging. What else? This Read Is Mine with Wiz Khalifa. To me, he always made like dope collabs with Wiz Khalifa. Even when they did the soundtrack for Mac and Devin, with this Read Is Mine. That's a dope track. I love that joint. What else? The Kanye joint, Eyes Closed, with John Legend and Kanye West. I like that joint. But there's a lot of joints I didn't care for. The Gorillaz joint, don't like that. Something Like This Night, don't care for that joint. The Wet, I don't like that joint. Boom with T-Pain, don't like that joint. A lot of misses on here. Again, it's not a great album. There's some joints I like, and most of it is all bad. I'm giving it a 2.5. And again, I have the album, because we probably won't review it, so this is the only time y'all gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reincarnated Snoop Lion, trash.
Trash.
So again, I remember when this album was coming out,
Mm-hmm.
he pretty much had like a spiritual awakening that he was Bob Marley reincarnated, and he was trying to study the Rastafarian culture,
Right.
and he was really pushing this shit, like calling himself Snoop Lion.
Right.
Going to Jamaica, growing dread. Y'all remember that era?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I looked, and then you have Miley Cyrus on this album, this so-called reggae album. Rita Ora.
Trash.
I can understand Drake to an extent, believe it or not, but I'm just like, if you want to try to make a reggae dancehall, why not have people like Shaba,
Exactly.
Beanie,
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy?
Right.
I'm just curious.
Even the producer he had Diplo. I'm like, you don't even have a real reggae producer doing the
It was
album.
Lee Scratch Perry.
You know what I mean?
Where it was Sly and Robbie. Where were all
Exactly.
the cats and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was not just a bad. This was just disrespectful.
Yeah. And he has the documentary for the album. The documentary is on Netflix. So anybody that hasn't seen it, the reincarnated documentary is on Netflix for the album. He went to Jamaica to do the album, and he's like out there smoking and chilling out there in Jamaica. I like the documentary, but the album was trash, terrible. It's a 0 for me.
It's no for me, dog.
The track with the Gorillaz on documentary wasn't good. I love the Gorillaz. I love them from the first album. The second one, Demon Days, but I didn't like the track he did with Gorillaz.
Yeah. All right. Bush. I didn't really care. He came back to Snoop. Decent.
You didn't care for that?
It was decent. I mean,
How many mics you giving it?
1, I guess. I don't remember the shit from it though.
Well, I actually like this album because I love the Neptunes. I love their production. And it wasn't even really the Neptunes. It was mostly Pharrell that did the album. But I think there's some bangs on here. The California Roll with Stevie Wonder, that was a single. I like that joint. Of course, Peaches and Cream, the first single with Charlie Wilson, a banger. So Many Pros, Edibles with T.I., I'm Your Dog with Kendrick and Rick Ross, that was a banger. I actually like this album. I think this is one of his best albums during the time when he was making a lot of shit. So I'm gonna give this like a solid 3.5. I think it's a dope album. I mean, a lot of people might not like it because if you love the Neptunes, you're gonna like the album because most of the stuff he's done in the past with them, Drop It Like It's Hot or It Blows My Mind from the Clones Neptunes album was fire. So if you love the Neptunes, you're gonna like this album. If you don't like the Neptunes, you're gonna skip this album. So I love the Neptunes. I thought it was a banging album.
Yeah. Kool-Aid, decent, believe it or not. Not his best, but decent. This was a more West Coast sounding
Mhm.
album, like a funkier album and shit
Right.
like that. I love this. Can't talk. I love the song "Cush Ups." I liked Let Me See Him Up, Kool Aid Man. The production was unique. He even had a Jay Dilla beat and stuff like that on here too. So yeah, I'll give this a 3.5. It's all
No,
right.
I don't like Kool Aid. I thought it was trash.
Uh,
I don't like nothing. I love the album cover. Album cover is dope, but the music, nah, I don't like nothing on this album. There's nothing that I could go back to. And he had Dilla on this album. Jay Dilla did a track for Snoop on this album, and it's a trashy album. That's the first time I ever heard a Dilla beat on a trashy album before. I can't think of any other
the
album that he was
first
on.
time,
Huh? What other albums that he did that was bad?
it ain't safe no more.
Yeah. No, but there's joints on that I could play. I can't play nothing on this album. This album is bad. Like, nah. This might be worse than Ego Tripping. You know what I'm saying? Cause Ego Tripping is like maybe 4 songs I like. I don't like nothing on Kool Aid.
Mm.
Terrible.
Never Left was cool. I like this one. Shit. What can I say about this album? I mean, rapping wise, I feel like he was more focused and shit.
Uh-huh.
The album cover was dope. Vintage Snoop. He has more G Funk and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I like songs like fucking Toss It. I like fucking Trash Bags 420 Blaze Up.
Uh-huh.
Let Us Begin with Karis One was pretty cool. I'll give this the 3.5.
I think Snoop found himself surprisingly. And some of these albums I just skipped over just because of the bad shit he's had in the late 2000s. So I didn't when these albums came out. I just listened to them like a couple days ago, and I was impressed. I think he returned to his sound, and having Battle Cat produce mostly of the album was a good thing. You have that real G Funk sound, no stupid skits or interludes, just bangers. You got I like the two renditions he did, the Houdini Big Mouth cover, and he did a remix for the Bismarcky Vapors joint. I like those joints. Promise You This was fire. 420 Blaze Up with I believe Wiz Khalifa's on that too. The Lavender remix with Kate Tronada and Bad Bad Not Good. That was fire. The Mount Cushmore joint, I think Wiz Khalifa was on that one too. That was a dope joint. Love Around the World with Big Bub from Today. That was a nice track. Definitely a solid album. I think it's his return to making good music. Finally, I'm giving this a solid 4.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, 7 Days of Funk with Damn Funk. That was a dope little EP he did. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Never Gonna Have Bible of Love, his gospel album. Yeah, I didn't care for this shit.
No. I'm not a fan of gospel uh, albums. Like, I respect the genre. My aunt sang gospel before she passed away. She was in the choir for our neighborhood church. You had great gospel artists, growing up in the house, Sounds of Blackness and Andre Crouch you know, but I'm not a fan of gospel like that, so I didn't really see the need for why Snoop would want to do a gospel album. Again, but he was trying different things, and I salute him as an artist for trying different things and evolving his sound and all that, but I didn't care for the album.
Yeah, at least he has gospel guests compared to the reggae album. So
Oh, God.
32 songs.
Yeah,
Wow.
a double.
Not even Kirk Franklin has that many songs. Um, I want to thank. Oh wait, I'll give that one, Mike. I want to thank me.
Hmm.
Uh, it's alright. Still wasn't really anything memorable and shit, but it was alright. I'll give it a 2, Mike.
Again, I thought it was a solid album. And this time again, you had Battle Cat doing a lot of the tracks. You had Swiss Beats doing some stuff. Rick Rock, Jermaine Dupri had a joint on here. It's basically like an album of him like thanking himself for all the hard work that he put into the game for all these years, and celebrating his brand and legacy. And I thought it was a banger. Let bygones be bygones. The track where he's like making up with Suge Knight and reconciling, and saying basically like, shit happened in the past. He's over it. They're friends now. That's really like big of him to do that, and to squash his beef with Shug. And that was a dope track. One Blood, One Cuz. We sampled the Houdini classic One Love. I love that track. You got the Do It When I'm In It. Had like a Latin flavor that was produced by Jermaine Dupri, and had like some like reggaeton artists on there with him. That was a dope joint. New Booty. He's basically talking about like niggas being hard in the street, and then when they get in the pen, they it's a different story. They get soft or whatever. I like that joint. Do You Like I Do. It had like a New Jack Swing type of feel to it. With a Little Duval, the comedian, is on that joint, and Superfly, dope beat by Superfly. It sounded like a Teddy Riley '90s New Jack track, but I thought it was dope. Wintertime in June with Nate Dogg, great collaboration. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg. Um, Rise to the Top, a dope Swizz Beats. And you know how I feel about Swizz production after like in the 2010s. I thought he fell off as well, but this is one of those rare Swizz Beats joints where it's actually like a banger, real melodic. It's just like a real grown and sexy joint. Trey Songz is on the chorus. Really, really enjoyed that. What else? That definitely like a great album. I definitely think it's solid. I'm giving it a solid 4 mics as well.
Definitely. All right. And the last solo Snoop album, From the Streets to the Sweets. This is a pretty solid album. This was released on 420. The song CEO, very dope song. The video premiered, I want to say like on his verses with him and DMX. It just has him over the rap album images and shit like that.
Yeah,
I like the song Roaches in My Ashtray. That was cool.
fire. Yeah.
Say It With Your Booty was dope too.
Hmm.
Production, still retain that funkier side and shit. So
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna give this a 4 mics.
Yeah, 10 bangers. Again, no stupid skits, no interludes. Just 10 straight bangers. It was dope. We had that solid G Funk, West Coast production. My favorite tracks is Look Around. I love that video where he's like actually like um he takes like classic album covers and brings them to life. And I love that video. That was dope. And Roaches My Astro, like you said. Gang Signs with Mozzie, dope track. Left My Weed with Devin the Dude, another dope banger. Get Your Bread Up, Freddie in the Bag with the Eastsiders. Definitely a solid production. A solid album. Great production by the Mechanics, and Battle Cat and Knots is on here. Superfly doing production. I'm giving it a solid 4. Again, I think his last 3 albums was solid, and he came back to form, and he came back to the Snoop Dogg that we all know and love. And he didn't have no stupid skits and interludes like he usually had on his other albums, and it was just solid G Funk production. He's still dropping heat in 2021, and I think it was a solid album, and for 10 tracks, he definitely kept it, just a album with bangers, and yeah, I'm definitely giving 4 mics.
Definitely. All right. I want to talk about a few collab albums and
Yeah.
shit. Eastsiders album, pretty solid. You know what I'm saying?
Which one? The first one?
I feel like both albums was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the
Deuces and
first
Trays. This is my
one.
joint.
You said what?
Deuces and Trays. This is my joint.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah, dope production on that one. I like the
definitely,
production better on that one.
definitely.
Definitely had like more pimp atmosphere and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the track list. Hold on. I was actually close on getting the Eastsiders albums at one point, but
I need to get the first one. I don't got that one.
yeah, I know a lot of niggas in the West Coast love that album and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They had songs like fucking Doghouse with Twins and Rapper for Tay.
Mm-hmm.
Balls of Steel, Got Beef with J.O., Silk Twine, and Black Tobin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dope track right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give the first East Side's album probably like a 4 mic. Deuces and Trays, definitely gotta hear this album again and like his album
Yeah.
again coherently and shit. Cause
Right.
yeah, this one definitely I feel like this one kind of gets left under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love it. Welcome to the house. I pledge allegiance. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 just for the production alone.
Right.
Um, 213 album.
That was fire.
Yeah, that was dope.
Definitely like that.
Yeah, that's probably like them at their finest. Nice way to reintroduce themselves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So fly. I love the way they use that
Fire.
beat. Like,
Oh yeah.
love that beat. Koopy Love, Another
Fire.
Summer. This was definitely a nice little West Coast album for the time and shit like that. Back
Mm-hmm.
when West Coast hip hop was kind of it was there, but at the same time wasn't as big. It was kind of overshadowed by the South, in my
Right.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one I'll give this like a 4 mics and shit like that. This one
Same.
was definitely dope.
Great album. Yep.
What else? What else?
Mac and Devin. You heard that?
Yeah, Mac and Devin, that was dope. But like you
Yeah.
said, Snoop and Wiz definitely did their thing with the
Mm-hmm.
production. Chemistry was dope too.
Yeah.
Definitely a very hot joint in my opinion. I'm gonna give that
Same.
4 mics.
Same. Great.
I'm
Great
not gonna
album.
lie, I didn't hear Cousins. I did not hear Cousins
I
and
heard
shit.
Cousins. Cousins was dope.
That was dope.
Cousins was like it was basically it was mostly him and Daz, and then you got Corrupt on a couple tracks. My favorites. I loved the joint he had on the damn funk album. Have You Ever was dope. 6 in the Morning, produced by Jansport J. That was like a reggae type of beat that they were rhyming over. That was one of my favorites on there. Pop Pop Bang, produced by Rick Rock. That was a banger. Um, what else? Keep a Nigga High. It has like a real, like a kind of like a trap beat to it, but it was still fire. Happy Birthday was dope. Best Friend. Yeah, it's a dope little project with Snoop and Daz. But yeah, I will give that like a 3.5.
Definitely. All right. 7 Days of Funk. I heard some of it, didn't hear
Mm-hmm.
all of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I heard, it was pretty solid, very funky and shit like that. I'll give that a 3 mics from what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, that was dope. I love Damn Funk's production. It just fit with Snoop's style, and yeah, like Fading Away was dope. Hit the Pavement, one of my favorite tracks on there. The Ride joint with Corrupt, Do My Thing. Definitely a solid little banger. I definitely would give it like 3.5 as well. Great little project, little EP.
Definitely. All right, and that's all of the albums from Snoop's discography. I thought this would be a little bit longer, but still made it with an hour.
The
Um,
Brodus Boys project, I didn't hear that.
oh, I forgot
What
about
was
that.
that? What was that anyway? What was that?
Borders Boys, hold on.
Yeah. The Royal Fam with the Brodus Boys, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear. I think that was just a collab. I'm doing some family members, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay on until about maybe 2:30 and shit.
This
I
is great.
got to pay
I,
my
I
phone.
hope I hope this actually like satisfies people, all the Snoop fans, and now you know what we think about every Snoop project ever and every compilation. He has a whole bunch of mixtapes, like the 220 mixtape. That was dope, and
Yeah,
there was mixtapes from early 2000s. I didn't hear all of them. I heard like a couple of them, but those are some dope mixtapes too.
definitely. All right. I think the next breakdown I want to do is Black Flag.
Okay, Sam asked for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask BJ if he still wants to do the R&B group this month.
I saw BJ here too. He left.
Oh, BJ was here. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Um, and the Shaq one that's coming probably in October or some
What
shit.
R&B we doing? What R&B group?
GP.
Okay. I don't
I
know
mean,
who that is.
I mean, the Gap Band. Pretty much.
Oh yes, you did tell me that. I thought we was doing that like in the summertime.
Well, BJ was busy last
Mm.
month, and he said probably this month or stuff like
We
that. That's why
should
I kept it.
we should do Madonna. You paying us to do Madonna?
Yes, sir.
Shit's not for free no more. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make money too.
So
I see
y'all,
all these other fucking platforms and podcasts making money, and I feel like we better than all of them. It's time for us to make money.
besides, y'all paying me to listen to
You know what I
American
mean?
too and shit, man.
Right. So you want Madonna discography? You gotta pay us now. That's how it is.
Yes, Sammy. Like I like Bad Bunny.
Yeah, the Bad Brains dope. Discography was dope. I enjoyed that one.
So
No thanks.
I definitely gotta look for some albums this weekend and shit. Man.
We did the Bad Brains joint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Sam that asked for that one.
No, he said, "Do you like Bad Burns?"
Do I like? Yes, I like Bad Brains. I like it right now after after this the breakdown we did. Yeah.
Oh, definitely expect a what the fuck coming up very soon.
Oh man. Yo. Madonna, yo, he said Madonna, no thanks. I don't blame you. Some of those Madonna albums, man, after like the hard, I don't even want to say hard candy. Probably after the music album, she went downhill.
Shit, I kind of stopped that rap like low key. I didn't care for music.
And she got like Grammys for that album. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I'm like, that wasn't her best album.
I'm like, what the fuck? Who is in the Grammy committee, yo? Like,
I didn't understand that.
so you mean to tell me? Hell, not even Like a Prayer got a Grammy and shit. Like,
Right? Yeah.
yeah, '90s Madonna. She went
Mm.
on some other shit.
80s Madonna for me, man. Like she could do no wrong in the 80s and 90s.
Man, yeah. Um, Ronnie said, "Which Madonna song is underrated in your opinion?" Hmm.
A lot.
This Bad Girl from Erotica. I love that track.
That was dope. Deeper and Deeper from Erotica, that was underrated to me.
Whole Erotica album thing was just.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they don't.
Heck, even Bedtime Stories got Human
Yes.
Nature,
Yes. That was great.
Secrets.
Great album. Great album. Yep.
Whole
We're doing a review for that, right? For the bedtime stories.
I said I wanted. I never gave an official date.
Oh. I know the anniversary is October for that.
Okay, cool. Shit, what was I about to say? So they trying to have a black Golden Girls and shit.
Oh boy. Of course they are. Cause the first one was so bad, right?
Yeah, the first one was just terrible. That they gave us 7 years of that crap.
Right. Punky Brewster, they canceled a reboot. I didn't even see it. I'm like, why would you do one anyway?
Yeah, they did like the one season on that Peacock
Right.
shit.
Now they canceled it. So don't make it then.
Right. Like Punky Brewster.
Right.
Who asked for a Punky Brewster?
I didn't ask for that. You know.
Memphis Bleak's first album, it was alright.
That was cool.
It was alright.
I enjoyed the understanding more. I like that one better.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought with the first album there was, I hate to say, a lot of dated songs there. I'm not gonna lie.
Like Jadakiss. Who has the better discography, Jadakiss or Memphis Bleak?
Yo, that's a good question because
Mm.
at least Jadakiss has a classic.
Hey man, but I think Bleak have better albums.
I don't know.
I like the Understanding was dope, the first one, and I like 534.
What you think of that?
That was dope.
Your
I like that
lifestyle
shit.
was written. What you think?
Made album. I didn't hear that one yet. That's the only one I didn't hear from Bleak. Sam said
Why?
Bleak has better albums. I think he do. I think Bleak does have better albums than Jada.
Why is Jadakiss as hard as he gets?
Nipsey Hussle appeared in the Bone Thugs Harmony video for I Tried. I never saw that video. What album that's from?
Strength and loyalty.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see no videos from that one.
They play that video all the time in Rap City back in 07,
Hmm.
08.
They fucked that album up because there were like a lot of joints that were unreleased on that album, supposedly.
I tried so.
Have you rated Freeway albums? No, I haven't.
I'm not.
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie.
mm.
I like Freeway, but I have to listen to his discography because I don't even remember the first album to be real
I
sure.
have the first two. I have the Philadelphia Freeway and Free at Last.
Free
That's
at
it.
Last came out in 07, right?
Yeah, like around there. Like
I
07.
do remember that album because Rap
That's
City promoted that album.
the joint he had Big Spender with Jay-Z was on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that has some joints. Okay.
yeah. Now we haven't done a discography of Freeway yet.
Nah,
What do you
I like how they try and like, oh, have y'all done this? Have y'all what y'all think about this and shit?
what do you think about Rather Be Your Lover, the Madonna song? Rather Be Your Lover? That
Yeah,
joint?
yeah. That's what they're
Uh,
talking about.
The one with Tupac, of course. Yeah, it was, of course with Tupac. Yes, it was dope. She there was some issue with her putting Tupac on the album.
Yeah, because around that time, Pop was going through the whole legal issues and the sexual abuse shit
Hmm.
that the label didn't want that influence and shit. So
Right.
that's what happened.
Yeah, that was dope. That was a dope song.
Y'all funny.
Tommy Ford of Martin appeared in Junior Mafia. I Need You Tonight. Where are you getting this stuff from, Ronnie? I don't even remember that him being in that
I
video.
don't even remember that shit either. I remember his bald headed ass and shit.
I don't remember him in that. What did he play in that video?
He probably was just chilling and shit. 'Cause,
Oh,
you know,
I don't
because
know.
mind you, Biggie wasn't Martin too, so
Oh
you
yeah,
never
true,
know.
true. 20 years for Aaliyah's death on the
But I'm
25th.
tired of hearing about Aaliyah. Oh my,
Yes, we know this. I saw the funeral.
no, it's not even that. It's just
Mhm.
like everywhere I went on the internet, people would say, "Oh my god, one in the millions on the internet." I'm like, "Oh my god, is it that serious, y'all? Like,
Right, right.
is streaming really that serious for y'all? Y'all don't just go on YouTube and just hear
Hmm.
the whole fucking album, which been there for fucking years and
Right.
shit."
What do you mean? He just told you why he was cut out the song because he had so much too much heat on him. What do you? I don't understand, Q. Like, we just told you what the reason why he was cut from the song.
Like, oh, I can only imagine when the self-titled album comes out and shit. Oh my god.
Oh, they re-releasing that too? The subtitle one?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, you good, Sam. I'm not mad and shit like that. It's just that it's just the media public. It's like there's plenty of other fucking albums that's not even on
mm,
stream. They don't even have Aretha Franklin's Ladder of Atlantic Records
mm,
period albums on there. They don't have a lot of funkadelic albums
right.
on streaming and shit like that. Um, what else they don't have? P Rock and CL Smooth, the main ingredient
Mm,
and shit
wow.
like that. Anita Baker, well, that's pretty much Anita Baker's decision, low key. But
Mm,
well, come on, I mean, look how long it took Phil Monch's Eternal Affairs to get on stream. I ain't get that big commotion for that.
right.
I mean, I like Aaliyah, but all this fucking internet, it's like
Mm.
motherfuckers miss like, oh my god, Aaliyah this, Aaliyah that. Shit, why not just re-release the fucking album, put some unreleased tracks on that shit, man? If y'all gonna give us this long ass time, why that should be in streaming and shit?
Crazy.
Thank you. Well, they used to have Organized Confusion's first two albums
Mm.
on Spotify, but for some odd reason they took those out and put Equinox for some odd reason.
He said it's coming back though. Pharoah Monch said they putting it back on streaming.
Shit. Give me because I have the Stress album and I have the first album. I just
Mm.
Equinox album I don't have on
Yeah, I
physical
don't
and
got that
shit.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Sean. I see. I got all of Anita Baker's albums too, minus the Christmas album and the '05 album and shit. So again, I'm cool. Like that's the thing. We need to keep CDs and vinyls alive and shit. Like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
motherfuckers like so fucking hyped over this vinyl shit. I'm just looking at myself like, but y'all motherfuckers don't own record players and shit. You know, y'all motherfuckers don't own record players. Yeah, like yeah, I might have a vinyl
Mm.
where it's still sealed up and shit like that, but at
Right.
least I play it.
Yeah, playing it right.
Yeah, like yeah.
It,
This is the Respected Classics edition too and
yes.
shit.
Dope. Sunday.
Yeah, man. Like
Yes. I have that too.
yeah, man.
Man, George Clinton, man. Did you see the show tonight?
Nah, I did. I
Man,
heard about it.
George Clinton put on a great historic concert. I've never seen a full concert from George Clinton in Parliament till tonight, and it was great. Like and today's yesterday was his birthday, 80 years old, and he did like a 2 hours concert. That's most than a lot of these young rappers could do.
I'm glad that George Clinton's getting a lot more love. I'm
Hmm.
realizing he's getting a lot more love lately
Right.
and shit like that in music circles. And I'm
Hmm.
kind of glad about that. Maybe they should put some of his shit on streaming, but you know
Right.
what? Well, he went through a lot of legal issues too, especially with
Hmm.
Casablanca.
Right.
So that has a lot to do
And
with it too.
and the mayor De Blasio gave him a proclamation day. So today, well, yesterday is officially George Clinton Day in New York
Amen.
City, and it's great. I mean, this man is a Hall of Famer, and it's good to see him getting his flowers now. And the show was great. And he have like all his kids and grandkids are part of the band now, and they all were performing. So he has a daughter named Scotty Clinton, and she sings and she raps, and she was performing tonight, and a lot of his grandsons was performing, and they rap as well. And then you got like the band members. He got the actual son from the guy, I forgot his name, Garrett, I forgot his last name, the guy that played the guitar with the diaper. His son is a part of the group now.
Gary Scheider.
Yes, his son is a part of the group, and he plays guitar with the band, and he
Hmm.
was there, and it was great. It was a great, one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And I wasn't even there. I didn't go because I didn't take the COVID shot yet. But I actually regret not going to the Queen show because they killed it. Like Havoc came out with Big Noid. You know, he did like the Mobb Deep set. They were all saluting Prodigy. You had EPMD out there. They killed it. You know, Lost Professor was out there with Neek the Exotic. They killed it. Mike Geronimo and Will Flush was out there. A lot of Queens got DMC came out. He was doing this thing with DJ Hurricane. It was a great show. A great show. Definitely enjoyed it. That I think was the best show of the week here in the city, and to have George Clinton, 80 years old on his birthday, do a 2 hour show, and it was like legendary, man. That's awesome.
Did he perform Mothership Connection and all that shit?
He did. Well, he did Atomic Dog. Everybody know that song. He did
Yeah.
that. He did We Want the Funk.
Okay.
What else he did? What else he did? He did like a lot of like album cuts, like more than the hits, but he was dope, man. He was there. He had like the guitar. He had like a guitarist that straight out of high school joined the band, and he was great on the guitar. He had like an older cat that was on the guitar. I think the young dude name was Michael Hampton or something, but he was a great. He was great on the guitar, and man, he's still doing it after all these decades, man. That's a real legend,
Definitely.
you know.
I'm gonna stay on for like 5 more minutes. I'm sure. I know Sam asked, "What do I think of box sets?" I'm gonna be real with y'all. To me, I hate how artists overprice certain box sets.
Mm.
Like, and it's like they will have like the original album. I don't mind having unreleased songs, or they want to have live songs, but then the motherfucker will have certain takes or certain interview snippets. I'm just like, is that really necessary? And then they'll put like $70 to $90. Like
Right.
Led Zeppelin is a perfect example because I remember when they re-released like a lot of their albums. Certain re-released albums was like $50 or $60. I'm just like,
Right.
no.
Right.
So yeah, box sets. It's just like as long as it's done right and
Yeah.
not marketed
I agree.
expensively, then I'm cool with it.
It's definitely dope to have box sets like special edition or limited edition. I mean, you can always sell it. You can always sell it off if you don't like the box set. But it has to be done right. It can't be for every release. Can't be for imagine Nas making a box set of Nostradamus. I would never buy that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never buy that. Like if Nas did a box set for like Stillmatic or it was written, that's one thing, but not for every release. It has to be for like a monumental album. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they box
Country
sets are good.
Grammar.
Huh?
How about Country Grammar?
Hell fucking no. I wouldn't buy that. You would buy that?
Hell no.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, the Beatles. Oh my
Mm.
god, their box sets over. Niggas
Yeah.
feel that shit like 150. I'm like,
Way too
what?
much. Way too much. I saw the box set for Abbey Road. Like yo, you're better off just getting the digipack for Abbey Road. It's a lot cheaper. They have another edition with like a booklet that comes with it. I remember seeing somebody on Instagram post that with like the booklet. It's like a glossy colored booklet with different like liner notes and photographs. You're better off getting the cheaper version than getting the box set is ridiculously like crazy prices. I would never buy that. And I love Abbey Road. It's a classic Beatles album, but for what they want, the amount of money they want for that box set, nah, they bugging.
Just so y'all can have a picture of Paul's feet and
Right.
shit.
I think it was like what, like 170 or some shit. The box set.
Yeah.
It's in the hundreds. I'm like, nah, I ain't getting that. They wildin'. But they're gonna keep doing that for every release. With Sergeant Pepper, they're gonna have one if they don't have it already, and the Revolver album, all of those albums. So
Oh my god.
the Sean Price box set, yeah, because all the boot camp stuff are out of print.
Oh no, don't let it be a dead rapper though.
Right. And top of that, he's not here. So
Don't let it be a dead rapper, yo. That shit.
yeah.
They gonna pay your rent money and shit, yo.
Wow.
Heck, even with Traffic Entertainment, I like them.
Hmm.
But when they used to do certain reissues, they used to be overpriced too.
Crazy. And vinyl is expensive, man. It's more expensive than CDs. You know,
Like I said, motherfuckers don't even know record players and shit.
right? And especially if you're a DJ, that means you need two copies, one to play and one to scratch. That's even I can imagine how much like DJs spend on an annual basis for albums. So you know what I mean. Don't buy shit if you can't use it right now. Like I would never buy vinyl if I don't have a vinyl player or cassette if I don't have nothing to play it on. Like everything I buy, I'm gonna play it now. I ain't waiting like years down the line to play. Like I want to play my shit now. That's just me. If I buy a pair of new sneakers, I want to wear it now. I'm not gonna have it on ice just to stun on the gram for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm. I spend way too much money on vinyl. That's why I'm always broke.
yeah,
It be like that.
it's only certain vinyl that I care to get. I don't want everything that's on vinyl.
Right.
I still want the CDs because they still cheaper.
Yeah. I'm trying to go see Shaka tomorrow too.
Mhm.
All right. Better producer Teddy Riley or Timbaland?
In a prime, I got Teddy.
Same.
Prime. I think Timbaland fell off too, production wise.
He did. I would buy vinyl for jazz and soul music. Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Feeling long ass day. I still gotta go pay my fucking car note. Shit. I can't wake up and have my car rebuilt and shit.
I've seen that happen too.
Right.
The people they got the truck that comes on the block like 3 in the morning when they sleeping. and secretly take away their car when they wake up. They ain't nowhere to be found. That's crazy.
Right. I was like, damn, this shit actually happens. Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end off this video right now. This has been real.
Snoop Dogg,
Snoop D-O double
Snoop
G.
Dogg, Snoop Dogg. We
Other than
put
that,
respect. I think we put respect on Snoop Dogg's discography tonight, man. This was a great one.
definitely, this was a dope breakdown.
I told y'all I was wearing my Snoop shirt, so I meant that I had to wear my Snoop shirt for y'all, man. So
Yes,
the
yes.
goat, the goat, Snoop Dogg.
All right. Sunday, we want to talk about a Mills only album, All Money Is Legal. Um,
That's a trash review.
yeah, yeah. I'm more.
What are the odds I'm gonna like that album? I haven't heard the album.
I won't be surprised. You gave
What are the
five
odds I heard that?
mics.
What is it?
You gave 5 mics in the last.
I don't think I highly doubt Amir. I highly doubt a Mills album is gonna be 5 mics.
I don't even think it's gonna be 2 mics.
That's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Since I'm spacing out some of these reviews,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to do the Battle of the Bangers for Quincy Sunday.
Okay.
Since I'm not gonna work next weekend due to me going to DC
Right.
and stuff like that, and
Okay.
so that Sunday I'll probably do a breakdown. And if I do come back from DC and I feel energized, I might do a chat. Just to let y'all know.
So
Um, so Thursday is going to be NWA Straight Outta Compton.
okay.
The re-review, excuse me, since YouTube blocked my first review.
Crazy. Why did they do that?
You said what?
Why did they do that?
Because that was around the time when I used to play the album, when I used to
Oh, okay.
review and
Right.
copyright bullshit,
Wow.
whatever.
Crazy.
And yeah, and so since I got that album, I think Tuesday I'll just do not last Blood in My Eye Tuesday and shit.
Dope.
Which that's not I really can't wait to listen to.
Also, tomorrow I'm dropping on my channel, Danny Rap Podcast. Me and Reg discuss the top 10 classic 80s rap albums of that decade. I think when people talk about the old school era, it's always about the night, especially you young kids. When you talk about old school, it's always start with the golden era, and they don't look far back, beyond that. And we got to put more respect on 80s rap. And I am an 80s baby, so I'm like, well, since nobody else is going to discuss 80s rap and it's always about the golden era in the 2000s, we're going to talk about it. So look out for that video coming tomorrow. I'm going to drop it. Top 10 80s rap classic albums.
Definitely. That was fun doing that.
Yes, that was great. Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope y'all have a good night. Appreciate it. Try.
No doubt.
All right. And I will see y'all on Sunday. I'll see y'all. Peace.
All right. Peace.